Have you ever avoided something just because it was too hyped up? When everyone won't stop talking about something, it's easy to assume there's no way it can live up to the praise. I've done this plenty of times, whether it's a new album, movie, or TV show. But this time, I made a mistake. I ignored Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm here to confess. Jujutsu Kaisen began serialization in March 2018 and concluded in September 2024, spanning 30 tankobon volumes plus the prequel Jujutsu Kaisen 0. The series exploded in popularity, spawning a massively successful anime adaptation and a prequel movie that became one of the highest-grossing anime films ever released in theaters. While the anime brought Jujutsu Kaisen to a global audience, it's only covered about half the story so far, ending around the Shibuya incident arc. Since the manga is now complete, that's where I'll be focusing this review. So without further delay, let's dive into Jujutsu Kaisen. Every great story starts in the mind of someone who dares to dream. And this one began in the mind of Gege Akutami. Raised in Sendai, Japan, Akutami developed a love for anime and manga at a young age. He was deeply inspired by classics like Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, and Neon Genesis Evangelion. He spent countless hours imitating the art styles of his favorite creators, unknowingly honing the skills that would define his future. His first major step into the manga industry came in 2014, when he worked as an assistant on Kiss X Death. That same year, he published his first solo work, Kamishiro Sosa, a one-shot released by Shueisha. Over the next few years, Akutami continued experimenting with short stories until in 2017, lightning struck. Tokyo Metropolitan Cursed Technical School, try saying that 5 times fast, debuted as a 4-chapter series. You might now know it as the retroactively renamed Jujutsu Kaisen 0. It served as the blueprint for what would later become Jujutsu Kaisen, introducing core elements of the world and backstories for several characters. Akutami had yet to realize what Jujutsu Kaisen would become, but he knew he created something special, something that just needed refinement. For one, he felt Yuta wasn't the right choice for the main protagonist. So he went back to the drawing board. After months of rethinking, reworking, and reimagining, the idea would finally take full form in 2018 as the Jujutsu Kaisen we know and love today. A series that, in just 6 short years, skyrocketed to become one of the best-selling manga of all time. So now that we have the history of the author and how Jujutsu Kaisen came to be out of the way, let's dive right into the story proper. Let's start off with the prequel story, now known as Jujutsu Kaisen 0. This one takes place before the main series and follows high school student Yuta Okatsu. Yuta is a kind-hearted kid, but he's haunted by a terrifying entity known as a cursed spirit that brutally kills anyone who tries to hurt him. That spirit just so happens to be Rika, Yuta's childhood friend and the girl he once promised to marry. Tragically, Rika died young in a car accident, but instead of passing on peacefully, she became an overwhelmingly powerful and possessive curse bound to Yuta out of a kind of twisted love. Yuta has no idea how to control this power, and the guilt and fear eat away at him. After Rika violently murders a group of bullies, Yuta is captured by the mysterious Jujutsu Society, an organization that deals with curses and sorcerers, and they decide he's too dangerous to be left alive. Just as things are looking hopeless, he's saved by none other than the absolute Giga himself, Satoru Gojo. Gojo offers Yuta a way out. Come to Jujutsu High, learn to control Rika, and use that cursed energy to protect people instead of harm them. From there, the story follows Yuta as he trains, learning the ins and outs of cursed energy and grows closer to his new classmates, Maki Zenin, Inumaki, and Panda, all while facing off against the dangerous villain, Suguru Geto. The final battle is just pure chaos in the best way possible, and it really shows off the kind of emotional storytelling and high-stakes action that Jujutsu Kaisen is known for. While Jujutsu Kaisen 0 isn't required reading before diving into the main manga, I definitely recommend checking it out. It introduces many characters who would become series mainstays. Yuta becomes an important character later on, and knowing his backstory makes his return hit way harder. Plus, it's just a fantastic standalone story which shows exactly why Gege Akutami decided this world had more stories worth telling. Now, with the prequel out of the way, let's get into the main course. Jujutsu Kaisen starts in a hospital, where we meet our main character, Yuji Itadori, a high school student visiting his terminally ill grandfather. Despite being on his deathbed, the old man isn't sad, but before he passes, he gives Yuji one final piece of advice. Help people. Make friends wherever you go, and when you die surrounded by them. Yuji takes those words to heart, and they end up shaping everything that follows. Back at school, Yuji and his friends are part of the occult club, just some kids messing around with creepy stuff for fun, until they accidentally crack open a cursed object, a rotted, mummified finger. Gross, right? Well, turns out it's not just disgusting, it's dangerous. The finger attracts cursed spirits to the school, with them wanting to ingest it and obtain its evil powers. In comes Megami Fushiguro, a Jujutsu high sorcerer sent to retrieve the finger and exorcise any curses that get in the way. He fights bravely, but the curses are too strong and things start going south fast. That's when Yuji makes the executive decision that sets the entire series in motion. He eats the finger. What the fuck? Yep, the main character of one of the most popular shonen manga in years kicks things off by eating a rotting finger. This manga is peak. By doing so, Yuji gains incredible power and wipes out the curses. But there's a massive catch. That finger belonged to Ryumen Sukuna, the king of curses and the most powerful sorcerer in history. Centuries ago, Sukuna's power was split into 20 cursed fingers and scattered across the globe. Now, by consuming one, Yuji becomes his vessel, with Sukuna manifesting inside Yuji's body. And from that moment on, the two are bound together, a boy and the most evil sorcerer in history, sharing one body. The Jujutsu Society, learning of this, freaks out. They capture Yuji and sentence him to death because, too dangerous to live in all that. Wait a second, doesn't this sound familiar? Yeah, this is where you can really see how Jujutsu Kaisen 0 acted as a blueprint for the main series. Both Yuta and Yuji are hosts to insanely powerful curses. Both are condemned to die, and both are saved by the absolute legend himself, Gojo Satoru, who brings them to Jujutsu High to learn how to control their powers and become sorcerers. It's almost as if Jujutsu Kaisen 0 was Gege Akutami's test run, and Jujutsu Kaisen is the refined, full-scale version. Anyway, Gojo takes Yuji under his wing and brings him to Jujutsu High, and from there Yuji begins his journey to master cursed energy, control Sukuna, and maybe, just maybe, save people along the way. The setup is absolutely amazing. I was hooked right from the start. You can't help but keep flipping pages, dying to see what kind of wacky nonsense is about to happen next. It's that kind of story where literally anything can happen, and you're constantly on edge because you never really know what's coming. So the story's great, that's awesome. But the story is only half the picture when it comes to a manga series. That's right, manga is a combination of two things, story and art. With Jujutsu Kaisen already being top-notch at the story, it's time to take a look at the other half, the art. Art isn't necessarily the make or break of a manga. There are plenty examples of series with pretty simple art styles that still became huge hits. But that's definitely not the case with Jujutsu Kaisen. In fact, it's the complete opposite. Gege Akutami clearly took a lot of inspiration from classics like Bleach and Hunter x Hunter in both art and tone, and you can absolutely see these influences throughout Jujutsu Kaisen. But honestly, I'd say he took what worked from those series and improved upon it. Some of the double-page spreads are just stunning, dynamic, detailed, and bursting with energy, like they're about to leap right off the page. There's so much detail packed into every panel that you can't help but get pulled right into the world. The dark, gritty aesthetic mixed with those nightmarish cursed spirit designs makes Jujutsu Kaisen instantly recognizable. And of course, at the heart of any good battle manga are the fights. The action in Jujutsu Kaisen is next level. Brutal, fast-paced, and overflowing with creativity. Sorcerers and curses collide using intricate techniques and raw martial arts, leveling buildings and tearing through entire landscapes in pure chaos. The way Akutami draws motion and impact is phenomenal. Every punch feels heavy, every attack feels earned, and you can practically feel the energy bursting off the page. It's that kind of action that has you flipping pages like your life depends on it as the intensity keeps ramping up. My personal favorite? The fight between Yuji and Todo versus Mahito. That fight is everything Jujutsu Kaisen does best. High stakes action, emotional weight, and just enough absurd humor to make it unforgettable. Any self-respecting battle manga needs its own power system, whether that's ki, ninjutsu, hamon, or nen. In Jujutsu Kaisen, that system is cursed energy. Curses in this world can only be fought using cursed energy, and only a tiny fraction of people, mostly in Japan, have the ability to see, manipulate, and wield it. With a few exceptions, such as Maki Zenin, every sorcerer has their own techniques and fighting styles centered around cursed energy. Going into the manga, I was expecting something pretty straightforward. But oh boy, was I wrong. At first, you get a simple breakdown of how curses and cursed energy works. Then, as the story goes on, the explanations just start piling up. Rules, conditions, and eventually mathematical formula? What? Don't even get me started on domains, barriers, and guaranteed hits. Midway through, I was so lost I actually ended up Googling how this stuff worked. That's when I came to a realization. I don't think anyone truly understands this power system. Even the manga creator himself, Gege Akutami, admitted in one of those between chapter pages that his editors were complaining about how confusing it was, and that he just simply couldn't explain it if his life depended on it. And honestly, that's when this series really started to shine for me. Once I stopped trying to make logical sense of every curse technique and just let the insanity wash over me, I started to appreciate Jujutsu Kaisen for what it really is, a beautiful, chaotic, rule-bending, power-slinging masterpiece. The best way that I can try to describe Jujutsu Kaisen's power system is it's kind of like a mix between Naruto and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. On the Naruto side, many jujutsu techniques are inherited through families, much like how the Sharingan Eye is passed down in the Uchiha clan. The most confusing and overpowered of these is Gojo's Six Eyes technique. Passed down through his family, the Six Eyes is considered the strongest inherited curse technique in the world, giving Gojo the power to rival even Sukuna. The explanation for how this technique even works is a total mess. I'm not even going to try to break it down, but the end result is simple. Gojo is basically invulnerable and absurdly overpowered. He is so strong that the story actually has to sideline him around the midpoint to let other characters shine. On the JoJo side of what this power system is like, some of the curse techniques behave more like stands. They come with unique abilities, conditions, and weaknesses, turning the fights into strategic chess matches rather than just raw brawls. A perfect example of this is Hiromi Higurama in the Culling Game arc. His domain resembles a courtroom where he puts his enemies on trial, and he can only hurt them if they cannot prove their innocence. Suddenly, a fight that could have been a straight-up hand-to-hand brawl becomes a tense back-and-forth legal battle, completely flipping your expectations. It's this kind of creativity that keeps the fights in Jujutsu Kaisen fresh, unpredictable, and endlessly entertaining. So, we've talked about the battles and the power system. Now I'd like to focus on the actual people using them, the characters. Jujutsu Kaisen is kind of a strange manga, in the way it shifts focus away from its main character. Yuji Itadori starts off undeniably as the protagonist. The story follows him learning the ways of Jujutsu, the ins and outs of the society, and by proxy, we learn it along with him. The first few arcs feel completely centered on him, and you get the impression that this story, going forward, will be about Yuji growing in skill and mastering his powers as a sorcerer. But as with so much in Jujutsu Kaisen, what you expect is not always what you get. Around the midway point, Yuji surprisingly gets pushed into the background, while characters who were once minor, like Maki Zenin, start gaining major focus. It starts to feel less like a story about one character, and more like a sprawling narrative about a world under siege by curses. And personally, for me, that shift works brilliantly. Some of the most compelling parts of this story are the arcs that don't center on Yuji at all. The backstory of Geto and Gojo, Maki Zenin's rise to prominence, and even the goofy antics of Takaba. These storylines add depth and variety, making the world feel alive and multi-dimensional, rather than just a one-person journey. One of the coolest things about Jujutsu Kaisen is how the characters' powers often reflect their personalities. Take the before-mentioned Higurama, for example. His courtroom domain mirrors his profession as a lawyer, turning battles into literal trials. Gojo is supremely confident and cocky, and that arrogance is perfectly mirrored in his near-invincible abilities. Geto, with his hunger for control and domination, can store cursed spirits to wield as he pleases. These abilities aren't just for show. They give you little insights into who these characters are, letting you glean pieces of their personality through the way that they fight and use their powers. It's a clever touch that makes the battles feel much more personal and layered. With all that being said, there are probably a dozen other brilliant things you could say about this show, from the subtle humor to the friendships that feel earned throughout the seasons, and some of the terrifying curses that keep you on edge. Thinking about all the things Jujutsu Kaisen does right, I started wondering to myself, what does this show do wrong? And honestly, nothing comes to mind for me. This series excels at what it sets out to do, telling a high-stakes, heart-pounding story full of unforgettable characters, jaw-dropping battles, and a power system that is as frustratingly confusing as it is endlessly fascinating. Even when the story sidelines the main character, the world just feels richer, the stakes feel higher, and every arc adds to the tapestry of the Jujutsu Kaisen universe. I'll admit, I've only made it up to volume 27, and the last 3 volumes remain unread. But even without finishing the final chapters, I know this. No matter how this story ends, I won't feel like I've wasted my time. Every page I've flipped, every battle I've watched unfold, and every character arc I've experienced has been worth it. Up to this point, Jujutsu Kaisen is one of the best manga I've ever read. Chaotic, creative, and completely unforgettable, and I can't wait to see what comes next. If you're one of the rare people in the manga community who has yet to watch or read Jujutsu Kaisen and even got a little bit interested by this video, do yourself a favor and check it out. The manga's completely finished now, so there's not a better time to jump in and get lost in the crazy world of Jujutsu Kaisen. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. If you want to support the channel and help videos like this get made, there's a link to my Patreon in the bio. Until next time.